I just want to invest in people that really want to be the best that they can be.
Hello, everyone. This is Todd Scrima and the great GOAT Jimmy Reed and the lovely Robyn LaVassaur, and we're doing a little podcast for our realtors. We have about 50,000 of you that do business with Summit. We want to say thank you. We want to add a little value to you. Yes, I just found that number because I had them put them all into one big database. It was 50,000 something realtors that we have dealt with the last 5 years. That's not even the last 28 years. That's the last 5 years, wow. 50,000. So here's what we're going to talk about is how to have your best winter ever. Now, let's start big picture. There's 5 million homes sold a year that'll be sold this year, 5 million. Now, it is true that November, December, January, and February, the volume of transactions decrease. But the volumes of transactions decrease by about 20% during those months, not 50 or 60 or 70% like some people think. So what I have found, and I'll be bold, in my loan officer career, is the highly productive realtors worked hard during the wintertime, and they would take a week off, or they might take 2 weeks off, right, for holidays, but they were working like banshees through all those months that I just said. And so we want to give some tips on what that might look like, because it's not like volume is off the cliff. And even if it is for you, you might be building your pipeline for March, right? So there's, Robyn, what's one tip? I'm a realtor, and I'm, obviously the mortgage market is down about 20% from last year. What do I got to do to keep it going during the winter months?
Well, I think a couple things. One is you said at the beginning that it only falls off about 20% during those winter months, if you will. What I would challenge is that activity falls off 50, 60, 70%. And that's really the result of it being quote unquote slower. Ironically, the few houses that I have bought and actually a few of my kids have bought have all been in November, December for closings. And I think that there is actually a lot of business, but I had a realtor who's actually a pretty successful realtor in Eugene once say to me, "Hey, I'm so excited. Pretty soon it's no work November." And that is not a joke. She literally said it out loud, kind of like no shave November, but no work November. And I think that there is this terrible message, if you will, and so I love to push back. And the reason that the three of us are even bringing this up is, one, what do realtors want in value relationships? They literally want more deals. And so if we can all represent sales in the industry that we are, the real estate industry, with more sales, more ability to care for more people, to get them into homes, sell their homes, help them buy homes, it matters. And I will tell you, it's generally a direct reflection of how you behave, if you will, in November, December, January. Now, you might not be working, if you will, quite as hard. Or it might be a little quieter, right? Eugene, it's dumping rain during those 3 months, and it's dark early. So there might not be as many people as enticed to get out there and go buy a home or list their home with the Christmas tree sitting in the living room. I get it. I think that is absolutely pertinent. But you said at the end, Todd, going and building a pipeline for February, March, we're always building a pipeline. And the longer the break, the longer it takes, right? The longer the break, the longer it takes to build back what you want for the year. And teachers work 9 months out of the year voluntarily. I don't think mortgage and real estate agents do it voluntarily. I think they do it subconsciously. I think they shut it down and they end up busting tail for those other 9 months. And so what I would say is, hey, maybe by nature, it's going to be a little quieter and you can have some more off days or some more vacation. Great. But I wouldn't join that effort, if you will, right? Meaning that, hey, are you still on your video schedule, your work schedule, your call schedule? Staying consistent, persistent, contagious, even during the winter months, is what creates the fullest spring and summer.
100%. Love that. Really good. Jimmy?
Okay, so I've got a few ideas. So the first thing I would say is, and this goes for any business person that's a originator, right? Like insurance person is usually an originator, a loan officer, a realtor, is to plan your holiday schedule. Like plan when you're taking time off and when you're not. Because what happens to people that have the ability to make choices every day is during the winter months, you'll make more choices not to work, right? It feels slow. Everybody's taking off early at the office. No one's in the office, loan officers, and they will make decisions along the time of why they don't need to work that day. But if you plan what time you're going to have off and what time you're going to work, you'll work more. Listen, there's no like fancy answers. The formula is your focus multiplied by your activity equals your results. So if your activity goes down, your results go down. So how do you keep your activity up is to plan your time off, right? You got to plan it. So the second thing is you have to have a top 20 to 50 favorite past clients and influencers of your business. So you have to have a list. If you don't have it, do it today. And during the November and December, spend time with them. Time. It's work. Like, this is work. These people refer you. They believe in you. You have to proactively spend time with them during the holidays. The third one is you have to plan 2 events. You got to plan 1 event at the beginning of the cycle. I'll give you some ideas, but I'm sure you can think of them. And 1 right after the holiday cycle. So let's talk about that for a second. Some of the top realtors I know that are my friends, they'll do a client appreciation event January after all the holidays. During the holidays, they spend time with their top 20 to 50. Then a big event for their past clients in January, and then something like Pictures with Santa right after Thanksgiving. That kind of keeps them busy with contact, emails, text, reasons to call, videos, all the way through what feels like the slower part. And what they find is they're not slow at all. Because, hey, come look at my house. Hey, my son. Hey, all from the contact for these silly events that we put on. That's where it's.
Yep. I think that's great. Let me end it off with a tactic. And I don't really see this done. And let me start by saying that I think I'll say this tactic, and literally if there's 2,000 people listen to this, maybe 3 of them will actually do it. If it were me, what I would do is I would take the 3 most aggressive realtors in my marketplace, whether I knew them or not, and I would say, hey, I don't want to be slow this winter. Do you? Nope. For 6 months, let's me and you 3 get on a video every single day.
That's true.
We'll get on video. We'll make 2 hours of calls. Like we'll talk for 5 minutes before each day on what we're going to call about, have our list in front of us, and we're going to do 2 hours a day of calls. I'm going to do that for 6 months. And and we'll do some little competitions, like whoever gets the most appointments or the most listings or the most buyers, we'll throw some money in a pot and someone wins. So it's competitive. But I would go out and seek people aggressive like me that don't want to be slow during winter or simply can't afford it, and figure out a way where we can feed off each other's energy, because it gets lonely when you don't do stuff like that. That's what I would do as a tactic for a realtor that didn't want to be slow during winter. I would team up with a few super aggressors and let them push me and I push them, and we make 2 hours a day of calls.
It's the same concept, right, of having a gym partner. You don't work out nearly as frequently or on your own if you're always going on your own. But if somebody says, I'm meeting you tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. or I'm meeting you at 5 p.m. tonight, you are more inclined to show up. And it's a proven fact that we will pour into doing something. You know, when I was coaching Jimmy, I am coaching still, but when I was coaching and we could quote unquote find people, and you couldn't find the pathway. Let's say Jimmy was the worst student, which he's not on the planet, and he wasn't turning in any homework. He wasn't doing his stuff. I could find Jimmy. But the truth is, when I threatened to find Todd for what Jimmy did wrong, all of a sudden Jimmy's doing the right things. And what I would tell you is that if you struggle yourself and you think, I don't want to be quiet, but I am quiet, that accountability group, Todd, I guarantee you is just, that is really, really, really smart. It's a great tactic for anybody in sales, is to be surrounded by other people that will hold you accountable. And one person falls down, there's 2 others sitting there ready to pull you back up.
There's no way that I'm going to Orange Theory and I'm working out with 20 other people and I don't work harder. I'm trying to beat the house mom next to me who's running faster on the treadmill. I'm trying to beat the 30-year-old ex-college athlete who's pumping more iron than me. Like, I'm constantly looking at the crowd trying to beat them. Constantly. There's no
It is
way.
true.
Yeah.
Orange Theory's so smart about that. How many splat points can you get? It's so true. It's so true.
I mean, they developed a whole international company over that theory of competition. That's what I would do. So I hope this sparks some ideas on how not to be slow. I think it's, I don't know about real estate. In mortgage, there's already half the loan officers out of the business. Half. So I don't want people to be a statistic. So we got to be smart about it. You actually got to do the opposite of what other people do. So if people want to be slow during winter, they may not have a job come March because they don't have an income. They got to go get a W-2 type job. If you don't want that to be you have to do something different in a changing market. And I think that's really the lesson that we all have to learn. And for some reason, we all got to relearn it over and over again.
Yeah.
Jim, what were you going to say?
Just like golf, you got to relearn it over and over and over.
100%. Have a great month, guys. I hope you appreciate it. Thank you for your business. We appreciate it very much. Bye.
Bye.